Hello and welcome to Solaropoly. In this game, each player takes the role of a solar energy startup competing for space to set up solar farms, factories and grids across the globe. The aim is to collectively reach the target megawattage of 800 within the 50 turns. The currency of this game is called green energy tokens. In this game, we will start with 800 of them. Players can increase their power output by buying areas, owning regions and developing those regions. The player whose increase tips the total energy capture over the target megawattage receives a ScamCoin. Okay, so let's begin the game. I'm going to say there are 3 players in this game. The first player is going to be called Andrew, and the second player I'm going to try call Andrew as well, but the system won't allow that, so I'll just say Scott for player 2, and player 3 name is Sam. Okay, now the game is beginning. So to roll for Andrew, I press enter. So you see Andrew has rolled 2. And he's landed on the area upstate photovoltaics factory. So I can buy that area, and now I've bought it. Now I'll carry on, and it's Scott's turn now, so I will roll for Scott, and he's got a 6. But he's landed on a Saharan grid property, but I don't want Scott to buy that, so I'm going to offer it to other players in the game. So does Andrew want to buy it? Yes, he does. Does Sam want to buy it? Yes, he does. Now Scott has to decide who he wants to buy the property, so I'm going to give it to Andrew. So now Andrew has, he's got the property now. So you notice here that Scott has no properties at all, so I'm going to try trade one of his properties even though he doesn't have any. And here the system recognizes he doesn't have any properties, and so it skips his turn. It ends his turn. So now it's Sam's turn. And Sam wants to leave the game, so Sam's going to quit. And now that's Sam out of the game. Now Andrew owns 2 properties, and I'm going to roll for him again. And he's rolled a 6. I'm going to make him buy that property, so he's bought that. And he doesn't own any regions yet, so I'm going to see if I can develop even though I don't own a region. And the system recognizes he doesn't own any regions, whole regions, so he cannot develop. Scott's going to roll again. He got an 8. He went through sunrise, so he gets 200 gets. So I'm going to skip that turn. And now it's Andrew's turn again. I'm going to roll for him. He's got a 4. I'm going to buy that property. And as you can see, Andrew doesn't have sufficient funds. So do you want to offer to other players? No, I do not. So skip on. It's Scott's turn now. So he has 1,000 get. He's landed on Andrew's property, so he had to make an investment of 12 gets into Andrew's property. So I'm going to skip. And I'm going to roll again for Andrew as well. And he's landed on New York. So I'm going to try buy that. So he's bought that, and now you can see that Andrew owns the region New York. So this means he can now develop within New York. So I'm going to say develop. And now it asks me which region I want to develop in. So I'm going to say New York. And now it's going to ask which area. So I'm going to say Manhattan roof leases. So now the area has been developed. Now I'm going to try develop Manhattan roof leases again. So enter the region and then type in Manhattan roof leases. Now the system picks up that the areas in the region are not being developed equally, and so it prevents the development taking place. So now I'm going to stop developing for Andrew and move on for Scott's turn. So Scott will roll again, and Scott's landed on a property, and he's going to buy that property. And now it's Andrew's turn again. And he wants to trade his Saharan grid. So he's going to trade Saharan grid property. And he wants to sell it at 300 gets. So now Scott wants to buy that, so he types in his name. And there you go. In order to showcase some more features that we've implemented in the game, I'll need to skip ahead in the gameplay. The gameplay I'll be skipping will involve features that you have already seen. Here we have landed on the event square. These events are randomly triggered and they can be positive or negative, such as gaining an extra roll on the dice or losing a turn. So I'll press enter to take a card and read it. And as you can see, I move one square and I'll get one more get and I get to take another turn. Here I've landed on a new property. Here you can see that the player Andrew has landed on his own property in the New York region, so nothing happens and he can either trade or develop or to end his turn. Here we have two properties with development levels of 3. The fourth development level will be the final major development for the property, where the property will reach its maximum megawattage output and the maximum investment cost if a player lands on it. You can see previously that the minor development costs were 50 gets, but the final major development cost is 100 gets. So now I will perform a major development on the upstate photovoltaics factory. And here you can see that it has reached its final development, the major development achieved, and so it cannot be developed anymore. Now we can see here that the total megawatts for the group is 87, which is far away from the target megawatts of 800. We can also see the number of turns left is 18. I'll fast forward to show you what happens if the number of turns runs out before the target megawatts is reached, or if the target megawatts is reached within the turns left. Here we can see the number of turns left is 1, but we're still not near the target megawattage of 800. So I'll take the final turn here now. Here we're told that we ran out of time and did not meet the target combined output of 800 megawatts. Just below we have a summary of each player's assets. Here I've lowered the target megawatts to 20. The total megawatts is 12 at the minute, but once I buy this property which has 16, the target megawatts will be reached and the game will end. Andrew pushed the total megawatts over the target megawatts and so he receives the ScamCoin. And again we see a summary of each player's assets. This CSV file is read into the game system. It contains all data in the game. Data can be added, deleted or edited here to allow for quick and easy setup of games with different parameters.